Hi, Facebook Live. If you can hear me, this is Meteorologist Mallory Schnell with WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. We are just going to allow another minute or two to allow more viewers to get on this live stream, both on Facebook and on our Plus channel, so we can talk about the active weather that we do have on the way for the upcoming weekend. So just hang tight. We'll be getting started soon. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. But my hope is that I answer them as we go along the way. So we'll be getting started in just a moment here. All right, once again, good morning. Happy Friday. Meteorologist Mallory Schnell here with WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to talk about our severe weather risk for the upcoming weekend. As I mentioned before, if you have any questions and you're watching this on Facebook, feel free to drop a question in the comments. I'll try to get to them once I kind of give my overall presentation here. But my hope is that as we go along the way, I basically answer those questions for you as we take a deeper dive into the forecast here. But let's go ahead and get started, not waste any time. We'll start with a live look outside. This is from our Galt House camera here, our Bachman Auto Group U of L Health Cam, showing just some high clouds streaming in. Pretty quiet Friday out there. It's going to be a warm and breezy one. But we did have clear skies overnight, and that was great viewing for the total lunar eclipse. So if you were up late last night, this did peak around 3 a.m. Eastern time. The moon went behind Earth's shadow there, giving it that orange reddish tint. And just a reminder, we would love to see your weather photos or space photos and videos anytime. There's many ways that you can send those our direction. You can text them to us. You can see that number on your screen there. We have a WHAS 11 app. If you haven't downloaded it, I definitely recommend you do so. You can email your photos to us. And of course, we have a Facebook group where we get a lot of these photos, Kentucky, Indiana Cloud Watchers. Good morning, Beverly. Thanks for tuning in from Borden. All right, so once again, our weather headlines for today. It will be warm and windy for your Friday. Of course, it's been warm all week. Those warm temperatures sticking around, but we'll have winds that will pick up more so this afternoon, I'll say this evening and tonight. We do have a line of storms that's going to be moving through late tonight, and then more rain and storms on the way for Saturday afternoon and evening. And don't worry, we'll take a look at the forecast radar or the future cast as we head into tomorrow and kind of give you a better idea on the timeline there. But for today, if you have any Friday plans, today is fine. Today is nice. Today is honestly kind of summer-like because temperatures will be soaring into the lower 80s. This is 25 degrees or so above normal. Our normal high is 57 for today's date, March 14th. And also today's record high in Louisville, 82 degrees, set back in 2012. So very, very warm day on tap. Hopefully you've been able to enjoy some of this summer-like or spring-like warmth this week. We're going to be in the 70s likely tomorrow. That's really dependent on the timing of rain and how long clouds stick around, but it will be a mild day with all those showers and storms around. Behind this system, temperatures on Sunday will be dropping. That 58 degrees will likely be earlier in the morning, and then cooler air filters in. We may rebound into the lower 50s by the afternoon. Back into the 60s for St. Patrick's Day Monday, 74 next Tuesday. You can see rain chances the next 5 days. Obviously, the biggest day that we're paying attention to is Saturday, and it's coming in a few waves. So we will have a band of storms late tonight. We're talking very late, after 2 a.m., for some of us after 4 a.m., so more so really early Saturday morning. And then we'll have more of those storms roll in Saturday afternoon and evening. Could have some lingering showers for Sunday if you're heading to church or brunch or anything early in the day. But that will not be severe on Sunday, just some lingering showers around early. Will dry out, and then lots of sunshine for early next week. Temperatures right now, we are warming up nicely into the mid to upper 60s as we approach 11 a.m. So we are well on our way to the lower 80s here. Max HD radar, all is dry. Just dealing with a mix of sun and clouds today. That's really the best way to describe it. We have a band of high clouds rolling through and then more peaks of sunshine and blue sky, and that should really be the case today. So let's take you through this hour-by-hour forecast. If you have questions on timing, this would be the graphic to pay attention to. So for the rest of the day today, that mix of sun and clouds will likely get a bit more clearing. Model data trying to spit out a stray shower or storm. Can't rule that out, but for the most part, your Friday is looking dry, it's looking warm, it's looking breezy. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s this afternoon. Once again, looking to tie or break daily records. We're going to be 25 degrees above normal for this time of year. And we stay very mild, very breezy overnight tonight as well. So take a look at the timestamp over here. I'm going to try to highlight this. So here's your timestamp over here. I don't know if that helped at all. Where it says Saturday at 2:30 a.m. I will say we just got the latest model runs in. And this is good news for us if this trend does hold, because it's slowing down a bit, the high resolution models. So this is 2:30 in the morning, still far off to our west and northwest. And then by about 4 or 5, that's when it starts to creep into our western counties. And the reason I say this is a good thing, it's not great news if you have Saturday morning plans. I know we have the Derby 10K tomorrow starting at 7:30 in downtown Louisville. But the longer this takes to get to us, the less severe it will likely be, because there will be severe weather off to our west and around St. Louis with this line of storms. But as it takes more time, it loses some of that steam, and it really breaks apart around I-65. Oop, let me stop this. I realized I didn't put any more pause points in. Okay, so this is 5:30, 6:30, 7, 8. Obviously take all of this with a grain of salt. But this is a good evolution if this will be the case, where the strong storms kind of arrive in Kentuckiana. They might still pack a punch as they cross into some of our far western counties, but really the trend has been as they approach Louisville, I would say the I-65 corridor, they want to fall apart a bit. So we would love to see some storms fall apart for us so we don't have that severe weather threat. But just remain on guard, stay weather alert early tomorrow morning. And then the trend has been that we get some dry time. This doesn't mean we'll be completely dry tomorrow morning, but we'll get some dry time mid to late morning, early afternoon. And then as we get closer to 3, 4, 5 o'clock, you can see there, sorry, I'm like speeding up and slowing down. We could have some isolated scattered activity during the early afternoon, but the bulk of this really arrives 4, 5, 6 o'clock. You can see how widespread it is. A lot of these oranges, reds, and purples. I will say this particular model that I have up tends to look scarier than it is, so keep that in mind, but just the way of the contours and whatnot. But we are expecting heavy rainfall. I would not plan to be out and about tomorrow evening if you don't have to be. It's just going to be very rainy, heavy rain at times. Flash flooding could be a concern. We're not looking at river flooding like what we saw earlier in the season, thankfully. But flash flooding could be a concern with those heavier pockets. This will take us 7, 8, 9 o'clock, 10, 11, and then by midnight, the bulk of that's really off to our east. Heading into early Sunday morning, once again, we could have some remaining showers kind of on the backside of this system. But by that point, the cold front will have moved through and we're not looking at a severe weather threat. All right, let's talk you through the SPC Storm Prediction Center outlooks. I'm sure you're used to seeing all these colors on a map here when we talk about severe storm risks, but the highest you can go is a 5. And we don't have a 5 on this map, thankfully, for today and tonight, but a 4 is pretty high. That's what you're seeing in the reds. So this is the southern half of Iowa. We're talking about portions of Missouri, Illinois, far western Kentucky, far western Tennessee as well. That's a level 4 out of 5. And this is for today, but also through tonight. So these outlooks take us through about, 12Z, so 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So this is round 1 for us. If I zoom in, this kind of shows the evolution of how these storms are going to go, where they will be strongest to the west, and then as they track eastward overnight, they should gradually weaken. And as I showed you through that hour-by-hour forecast for tonight's line of storms, the slower it is, the longer it takes to get to us, the better. So if it's arriving, more so at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, that is actually good for us. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that, see if the models agree with that as we continue throughout the course of the day today and into tonight. But then this is the severe weather outlook for tomorrow. So this is for round 2. You can see also dealing with red, level 4 out of 5. This is for portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and even Panhandle of Florida. And then the orange is level 3 out of 5, yellow is level 2 out of 5, and the green is level 1 out of 5. Honestly, if you're on the map at all, you have to pay attention to the forecast. I know we're a level 2 out of 5, but that still means we can get severe thunderstorm warnings. It still means we can get isolated tornado warnings if there's enough rotation. So you definitely want to have ways to get alerts for late tonight, and then especially tomorrow afternoon and evening. And in terms of rainfall, we're talking, I would say 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Could see some isolated amounts of 4 inches in some spots, likely in south central Kentucky. But 1 to 3 inches seems to be pretty much the consensus with what we're seeing with the data this weekend. So as I mentioned, not looking at river flooding threats really, but looking at the potential for some flash flooding with those heavier storms that we will likely see embedded within the lines of storms on the way. And regardless of if we have severe thunderstorm warnings or not, if we reach that 60-mile-per-hour threshold or not within those severe thunderstorms, just in general, we do have a wind advisory that goes into place at 5 o'clock this evening, takes us through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And this is just due to gusty winds in general. So we're talking even outside of thunderstorms, gusty winds, 40 miles per hour or higher possible, just due to this storm system in general. And you can see wind alerts stretching across much of the region there. So let's take a look at the 7-day forecast here, just can kind of give you that big picture view. Today, as I mentioned before, if you do have any plans for your Friday, you're fine. Really nice right now if you're heading out to lunch. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s. We're talking highs likely in the lower 80s this afternoon. Really all you have to pay attention to today will be the breeziness. So it'll be breezy this afternoon, a little bit gustier later on this evening and tonight with that wind advisory going into place starting at 5 p.m. And then late tonight, more so very early Saturday morning, we have that first wave of shower and storm activity that hopefully continues to weaken as it moves towards us, towards sunrise. That kind of fizzles out, and then we had those showers and storms redeveloping for the afternoon and evening time frame. Sunday, if you have any plans, some lingering showers in the morning, not severe, just kind of leftover stuff on the backside of the system, and temperatures will be cooling off. So it's going to feel significantly cooler on Sunday, but of course, those temperatures much closer to climate normals for this time of year. And then Monday, St. Patrick's Day, sunny skies, 62. We're up to 74 on Tuesday, and then we do have another round of rain. At this time, does not look severe, but this would be Wednesday night through early Thursday morning of next week, and that would cause another cool down likely back into the 50s. So we have, of course, a weather impact alert Friday night through Saturday night due to high winds, heavy rain, in general, just strong storms. You just want to stay weather alert. Make sure you have ways to get watches and warnings if they are triggered, especially because some of this will be overnight. If we do have warnings from that line, especially I would say west of Louisville overnight tonight, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and you're not up because it's a Saturday, just make sure you have ways to wake up for a warning. Make sure you have that cell phone charged because we're going to have gusty winds today and tomorrow. You know, your power might go out for a period of time. If you have a weather radio, those are great. And this is just a good reminder, not trying to scare anybody, but we're in spring, which means we will have more rounds of severe weather in the future. Just make sure that you and your family, especially if you have kids, you know where your safe place is, and you have that severe weather ready kit ready to go. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for hopping on here. I'm just looking at the comments here on Facebook. See if any of you all have any questions. I'm just going to pop myself up here one more time. Hi, Meteorologist Mallory Schnell. I'm the morning meteorologist here at WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. We've been talking through our severe weather outlook for the upcoming weekend. Warm and windy today, no issues for your Friday, but we have 2 rounds of storms on the way. The first rolling through very late tonight after 2 a.m., likely after 4 a.m. for most of us, through about sunrise tomorrow. The second more expansive wave of rain will will be tomorrow afternoon and evening. Time frame I'm giving 4 p.m. to midnight, give or take an hour or so. But yeah, you just want to make sure you have ways to get alerts here because we are looking at severe weather potential, and that means damaging winds. Yes, some hail not out of the question, heavy rainfall. We could even see some isolated tornadoes. Fingers crossed that we don't, but we just need to be prepared in case. So I'm going to walk us through one more time the hour-by-hour forecast for anybody who hopped on here late, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here so I can start getting ready for our noon newscast, where I'll be talking about this, of course, in depth once again from noon until 1 p.m. on WHAS 11 if you want to tune in then. But here's that hour-by-hour futurecast. Once again for today, really just a mix of sun and clouds. It will be breezy. We have temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and low 80s, so looking to potentially tie or break some daily records there. As we head into this evening tonight, if you have any plans, you can see dry skies across the board. This takes us through midnight, through 2 a.m. I mentioned before the latest model data really has this rolling in a little bit later, which we do like to see. If it is delayed more so, it has more time to weaken before it gets to us. So we could still have some warnings on it, I think especially on the western edge of our viewing area. This is 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then it just kind of breaks apart. Once that sun rises, it's getting into an area that's not as conducive for thunderstorm activity. We've had a lot of dry air over us this week. So a lot of models just have it kind of washing out or falling apart by 8, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then we have more of those storms really increasing in coverage by tomorrow evening. So it'll be scattered for the afternoon, widespread by the evening, heavy rainfall, some embedded severe storms, but usually when it gets to be this messy, it's hard to get more of those severe storms and it becomes more of a heavy rainfall and flooding threat. So that's what we'll be watching there through 9, 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then drier as we head into the overnight hours with just some lingering showers through Sunday morning. And here's that severe weather outlook. This is for tonight. Once again, the red is a level 4 out of 5, but you can see how that line is supposed to weaken as it continues to march eastward through the early morning hours there. So that's some good news for us, especially once it arrives around the I-65 corridor. And then for Saturday, this is round 2. More of that outbreak will be Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, where you're seeing those reds. They have the greatest tornado threat. We have an isolated threat, but I would say heavy rainfall and gusty winds will be more of the concern here. And we're still looking at that level 2 out of 5 on the severe weather outlook for Kentuckiana for that second round Saturday afternoon and into Saturday evening. And then I mentioned this before, but outside of even the thunderstorm gust, it'll just be breezy and gusty in general today and tomorrow. So we do have that wind advisory from 5 o'clock today through 8 o'clock tomorrow due to wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. So make sure if you have anything out on your patio, I know it's been so nice this week, and you don't want it to blow away, this is your heads up there. 7-day forecast here, just the chance for rain early on Sunday. Sunny skies for St. Patrick's Day with a high of 62. We're back up into the 70s on Tuesday, and then we are tracking that next round of rain late Wednesday into early Thursday. All right, I'm not seeing any questions on Facebook Live. I appreciate you all hopping on here, whether it be on Facebook or on our Plus channel. Once again, meteorologist Mallory Schnell from WHAS 11 here in Louisville, Kentucky. Stay weather alert as we continue throughout the weekend, and we will be back on air today from noon until 1 p.m., so you can tune in then for the latest. Have a good day.